Germany will deploy extra police to protect mosques, railway stations, airports and other sensitive sites because of a very high far-right threat following the Hanau killings, the Interior Minister says.
Horst Seehofer said he had agreed the measures with regional leaders, to prevent any copycat attacks.
Prosecutors say the suspected gunman, now dead, was deeply racist.
9 people were killed in shisha bars in the western city on Wednesday.
The security threat from right-wing extremism, antisemitism and racism is very high, Mr. Seehofer said. He called it the biggest security threat facing Germany.
Mohammed B., a wounded survivor, described from his hospital bed how the gunman took careful aim at the victims in the arena bar and cafe.
Everyone he saw, he just shot them straight in the head. He laid down, then he fired at all of us. I hid behind a wall, and as I was moving to hide he shot me in the arm, he told a Turkish TV interviewer.
It was a bloodbath. We were all lying on top of each other. The guy lying under me had a hole in his neck, he said. I can't breathe, I can't feel my tongue, Muhammad recalled through tears. He said he told the young man to recite a final prayer, which he did.
Investigators say all the shisha bar victims were of immigrant origin, some were German nationals, while Turkey says at least 5 had Turkish citizenship. Several were reported to be ethnic Kurds.
The dead also included 1 person each from Bosnia-Herzegovina, Bulgaria and Romania.
BBC Europe reporter Gavin Lee in Hanau writes,
outside the arena shisha bar this morning, families of the 6 victims killed here gathered. One young woman collapsed close to the floral tributes, screaming that her sister had been taken from her. Her sister was Mercedes Kirpich, a 35-year-old German of Sinti Roma heritage. She'd come out that night to buy a pizza and a drink from a nearby kiosk when she was shot dead.
Mercedes' father Philip is shaking and in tears as he tells me his daughter was the most lovely human being, with 2 children, and that he feels utterly lost without her.
A West African woman, Barbara, lights a candle, crying. Originally from Cameroon, she says her 18-year-old son Peter Miniman was shot and wounded, but survived by playing dead inside the bar when the gunman walked past those he'd shot to check if they were breathing.
There are people in the community who say they saw this coming, who say that hate speech has been an increasingly commonplace thing, and they lay blame on the right-wing German politicians of the AfD party, and their populist anti-migrant rhetoric.
One local, Yusuf, who lives close to the arena bar, showed me a wall nearby, where police recently covered up graffiti. Written on the wall in huge letters, he said, was something from the suspect's website, written weeks ago.
Tens of thousands of people attended vigils for the victims on Thursday night, in Hanau and Berlin, carrying candles and white roses in silence.
The attack, attributed to a 43-year-old German named Tobias R., is being treated as an act of terrorism.
In her response to the attack, Chancellor Angela Merkel condemned the poison of racism.
The shootings began around 2200–2100 Greenwich Mean Time on Wednesday, and the first target was the midnight shisha bar in Hanau.
The suspect then traveled by car to the Kesselstadt neighborhood, some 2.5 kilometers (1.5 miles) away, and opened fire at the arena bar and cafe.
Shisha bars are places where people gather to smoke a pipe known as shisha or hookah. Traditionally found in Middle Eastern and Asian countries, they are also popular in many other parts of the world.
Police identified the gunman through information from witnesses and surveillance cameras. Early on Thursday, they stormed the suspect's apartment, near the scene of the second shooting.
The suspect and his 72-year-old mother were found, both also shot. A gun was found next to the suspect's body.
The investigation is now focusing on whether others knew about or helped organize the attack. The suspect may have had far-right contacts in Germany or abroad.
Tobias R. had posted videos and a kind of manifesto on his website, the federal prosecutor said.
In the document he wrote that people from more than 20 countries including Turkey and Israel should be destroyed, AFP reported.
London-based German counter-terrorism expert Peter Newman said the text contained various, but mostly extreme right views, with a do-it-yourself ideology cobbled together out of parts found on the Internet.
According to federal prosecutor Peter Frank, Tobias R. contacted the prosecutors in November, urging them to act against a big secret organization, which he claimed was tapping into people's brains in order to control world events. No action was taken in response.
The Bild tabloid reports that Tobias R. had a firearms license, and that ammunition and gun magazines were found in his car.
Gun laws in Germany are among the most stringent in the world, and were tightened further in recent years after other mass shootings.